Greetings, Stonington Garden Club, and welcome to the Photography Committee April Bench Show entitled Spring Fling. Thanks to all our photographers and especially our committee members Dodie Bump and Laura Frommer, who submitted photos in order to create the workshop presentation. And thanks to Susie Brewer, our GCA judge, who offers constructive comments on each of our entries. This show offers a study in both macro and close-up photography. We've learned much about photographing in close-up and macro over the last couple of years through our club tutorials, GCA video presentations, and hands-on practice. It's important at the outset to review the definitions of both macro and close-up photography as defined by the GCA. Close-up photography, which is probably more widely utilized because it does not require special equipment, is when a photo is taken close to the subject or with a long focal length lens to permit a close and detailed view of the object. The object fills most of the frame. A macro photograph, on the other hand, is an image in which the subject is greater than life size. The original object must be no larger than 1 inch by 1.5 inches. The images you see here were shot with the 10x macro zoom lens applied to my iPhone that worked less than an inch away from the subject. Often the subject matter will become almost recognizable due to the intense zooming in, but can certainly produce some interesting artistic imagery. These shots are macros of some feathers inside my floral submission to the February Floral Design Bench Show Carnival. So let's begin a review of our entries. Class 1 is a close-up or macro of a flower or plant material in color. Entry number 1 was submitted by Annette Bourne. The title of her entry is Lavender Flurry. Judges' comments. This is a delightful collection of lines, shapes, and color, beautifully arranged and lighted perfectly. I wouldn't change a thing. This entry wins first place in Class 1 and Best in Show. Entry number 2 was submitted by Wanda Sullivan, entitled Palm Sunday. Judges' comments. The color combinations and leading lines of the green fronds draw the eye happily around the image. It is technically well focused. The silvery white shape in the upper left takes away from the overall effect. Entry number 3 was submitted by J.J. Tillinghast, entitled Yellow Brilliance. Judges' comments. I love the subject matter of this image and believe it has great potential. A different viewpoint might have helped, as the white parts of the flower are out of focus, and the variety of elements in the background distract from the main subject. Try a more top-down view, and also try getting closer. Entry number 4 was submitted by Jill Core, entitled Homage to Georgia O'Keeffe. Judges' comments. This is an expert and lovely capture, very like Georgia O'Keeffe, in all the best ways. The color combinations, moving lines, and shapes and angle of view is spot on. The green triangle in the upper right corner needs to be either removed with the Band-Aid tool or cropped out. This entry wins second place. Entry number 5 was submitted by Laura Metzger, entitled Naples Botanical Garden Water Lily. Judges' comments. Tightly focused and well composed. This is an excellent and appealing view of a tricky subject. That is why the pads in the background cause trouble. The different colors and black area under the flower take away from the impact of the flower. Maybe get closer and eliminate more of the pads. Entry number 6 was submitted by Ann Lobdell, entitled Purple Passion. Judges' comments. The choice of subject is excellent, with its appealing shapes, variety of lines, and nice juxtaposition of colors against a good background. The focus of the main parts of the flower needs to be sharper. Entry number 7 was submitted by Jojo Rindell, entitled, Don't Be Shy. Judge's comments: the play of light and shadow on the flower and the variety of shapes and color draw the viewer around the flower. The upper left flower takes away from the main subject. Try moving closer to eliminate more of the background. Entry number 8 was submitted by Gail Hampshire, entitled Camellia japonica. Judge's comments: this is a picture perfect of exquisitely simple capture of a flower. The off-center placement is just right, and it's nicely focused. My only suggestion is to move in closer to reduce the amount of green leaf, making the flower even more dominant. This entry wins 3rd place. One note: the remaining photo classes 2, 3, and 4 will be combined for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd places. Class 2 is a color close-up or macro photograph of a flower or plant element with a living creature resting, such as a butterfly or a bee. And if anyone would like to know how challenging it is to photograph a bee with a clear focus at close range, just ask me. Last spring I challenged myself to capture these little guys among my rhododendron, and after roughly 50 photographs and 2 near bee stings, I managed only 1 shot that I was partially satisfied with. Entry number 9 was submitted by Laura Frommer, entitled American Bullfrog on a Lily Pad. Judge's comments: what an appealing fellow. I keep wondering how this was captured. His eyes are perfectly focused, as they should be. He's placed exactly right, and the background shows deft use of depth of field, meaning that the right parts are out of focus to keep our attention on the frog. You might crop a bit of the top off to further concentrate on him. This entry wins 1st place. Entry number 10 was submitted by Carol Nossick, entitled Sweet Sunrise. Judge's comments: nice job catching the bee on the flower. He and the flower are well focused, and he stands out against the bright colors. Next time, move in closer if you can to eliminate the green leaves and to make him bigger. It's also a good idea to try catching an eye and focusing on that. This entry wins 3rd place. Class 3 is a color close-up or macro photograph of a flower or plant element which captures the moisture from guttation, rain, or the help of a spritzer. Water droplets can provide a whole different look in a photograph and serve as focal points in photos. They are especially interesting in close-up and macro photography. Entry number 11 was submitted by Dodie Bump, entitled Passion Flower Perfection. Judge's comments: the contrast of red and green is successful, and the center of the flower is well focused. The leaf in the upper left corner infringes on the main subject, and the stamen needs to be in focus. Class 4 is a close-up or macro of a flower or plant material in monochrome. An image is considered to be monochrome only if it gives the impression of having no color, or it gives the impression of being a grayscale image that has been toned in one color across the entire image. Entry number 12 was submitted by Evelyn Lyons, entitled The Waters of March. Judge's comments: the varying directions and contrast of the light and dark parts of the leaves are an inviting view and necessary in monochromatic photography. The empty area in the upper left takes away from the effect. Try moving lower to fill the image completely with the leaves. This image wins a second place. So that's the end of our show. Thanks again to our judge, Susie Brewer, a GCA judge from the Darien Garden Club in Zone 2. Our Best in Show entry will be sent for publication in the GCA Photography magazine Focus. Thanks to all our entrants. Your photographs were absolutely beautiful and inspiring. Keep up your great work, and we hope that you will continue to learn more about photography as the years pass and submit additional photos to future bench shows. Thanks again.